Hayles. If you're watching me for the first time, thank you so much for catching me live. I am Linda Hayles, and I am a high performance coach. And what that means is that I help my clients make success predictable. I help my clients set and achieve goals. My clients come to me when they're tired of buying the journal, writing the affirmations, visualizing, and nothing is happening. Then I'm that person that stands in the gap for them, and we go and we hit the goals. Tonight, I have with me Dr. Yolanda Perkins. Hey, Dr. Yolanda, how are you?
Hey, Linda.
I'm so excited, you guys. I hardly ever do interviews in the evening, but this is how entrepreneurs roll. They have a life. Yolanda had, where were you at the game with the babies?
What's gymnastics practice?
Gymnastics practice. Y'all better watch out for Bella. She is going to the Olympics. I'm telling you, she will. So we're so proud. Okay, so tonight, you guys know that I do client case studies with my clients when they have amazing results. And so this is a really interesting interview because Yolanda, usually my clients come to me first and then we become friends, but Yolanda was my friend first. And so I'm just going to let Yolanda say, hey, how did we meet and what happened?
So, yes. Hey, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I'm super excited. So, Linda and I met a few years ago when we both co-authored a book project together. And so it was really interesting because we only had really connected for like a few hours at the day of our book launch in Atlanta. I think you flew from Texas, I flew from Florida. And we were just there for a few hours to celebrate the launch of She Conquered amongst our other co-authors. And so that's how we connected then. And that was what, about 4 years ago, 4 years ago? I don't even remember.
That was Halloween of 2016, girl. It was Halloween of 2016. And so what was really cool then, I mean, I didn't know Yolanda, and Yolanda had already written a book. Yes?
Yes.
You were already a published author when you got there. And what I saw Yolanda do is, first of all, I was like, she must be a church girl because she was talking like she was preaching. Number two, I saw that Yolanda had already written a book. And because I am a girl boss who has goals, I see behind the scenes. And so for a woman who had already written a book to join a book anthology, a collaboration with other authors, that let me know there's some kind of strategy at play here. She's trying to get more visibility, and I wanted to be friends with her. So during that, we got to know each other, and she told me she was excited because she was about to do her TED Talk. And I was like, whoa, I had been dreaming of doing a TED Talk since I first saw my first one in 2009. But Yolanda didn't know that. So you guys, I'm going to break down like a whole bunch of things because you guys know I'm a psych major. So I'm going to break down our relationship and how it grew and what it all means. So I had already put on my goal poster that I wanted to do a TED Talk. And here I am in the flesh, in my face. I'm meeting this woman who is about to do a TED Talk. And I said to her, like, my God, how do I do one? And she was like, girl, just talk to me later. I'll tell you later. And we were all busy signing our books and we were busy being the stars of the evening.
Right.
And we were. And we took this one picture together, which is like the only picture we have. It's all right. It's the only one we use. We recycle it because we haven't met each other again. But the thing is, as I came back home, she went back to Florida. I came back to Houston. We both helped each other out. She would call me for ideas and bounce ideas off of me. I would bounce ideas off of her. And then I said, well, write a freaking ebook. Do you think I could write an ebook about how to land a TED Talk? Yes, you can. Girl, I don't know how to do it. I don't have a template. I don't know. And so by default, guys, listen to this. By default, me helping my friend, coaching her into writing her book, I was able to have the information about how to do a TED Talk.
Right.
And so I benefited greatly from helping her put it together because then she was like, look it over and tell me what it is. Tell me how it feels, how it looks. And Yolanda stayed on top of me and she would send me links to TED Talks. Linda, here's a link to a TED Talk. Did you apply? And I was like, yeah, I did. But I really had given up because it's not easy to
That
land a TED Talk.
Right. That's the type of friend I am. I'm gonna hold you accountable.
That's right. And I'm so glad because there's so many people out here. Oh, I'm just gonna make myself a good website and do a photo shoot and I'm gonna land a TED Talk. No, boo. It is not easy to land a TED Talk. And
No,
so
it's
I
not.
gave up. I gave up a lot. I was like, apply for a couple. Some of them don't even tell you you're declined. You just don't ever hear from them.
Right.
And Yolanda was like, hey girl, did you apply for that one? I sent you 2 links. And so lo and behold, I landed TED Talk. And as we're both soaring and our businesses are growing, Yolanda starts to come to me because she's having difficulty doing what, Yolanda?
Oh man, having difficulty with multiple things. Having difficulty just trying to, handle the requests for speaking engagements. Um, I was getting a lot of requests to go, share how I landed a TED Talk. And so I just didn't know what to say. So Linda and I, if we don't talk late night, we're texting. And if she's not available, she'll text me back later. If I'm not available, I'll text her back later. And so I would be texting her these like, oh my God, or I've screenshot and send her the challenges that I would be having. And she'd be like, okay, I'll talk with you later. And so I was coming to her because I wasn't for sure how to respond to the requests that I was getting. And those requests were mainly speaking engagements.
And they were. And I think it's important to know. And I'm not here to speak of any of your privacy. So look, do like this if you don't want me to share something. But I do know that husbands, they are concerned about money.
Right.
Husbands want to see the money. They are supportive until a certain point. And they're like, what you doing? You playing on the internet? Like, I don't know. So, so I don't know if Dwight was saying those words, but I do know that there was a level of frustration because your husband is like, "Why are you speaking for free? When is the money
Right.
going to start rolling in?"
Right. Right.
And
Linda's
so,
right. Linda's right. Um one of the challenges that I had was, not only when someone, or when I was approached about a speaking engagement, I didn't know how to respond, but two, I was asked to speak for free, or there was no conversation about a price. And so, then I have, on one hand, I have, oh my gosh, I'm really excited about this opportunity, more visibility, obviously, right? And then on the other hand, I have, my husband who's saying, you are way valuable and you should be getting paid. And I don't think you realize this, but you really should. And so I would go to Linda, not because there was, disagreements within my relationship with my husband, not because of that, but because he was just wanting to look out for me and wanting the best for me, because he saw obviously a lot more than what I was looking at. And I just was never, never thought that I could, I'm gonna be honest, that I could be paid like that amount of money or a certain amount of money for speaking. I just never, looked at it that way, I guess. So I would go to Linda, and those were some of the conversations that I would have with Linda.
and it is interesting for me to point out that Dr. Yolanda Flarna Perkins is already coming to me for, I don't know how I'm going to respond to these people or how do I ask for money for my speaking. She's already the CEO of Swimmy Caps. She's already the CEO of Blendy Tone. She's already, right? She's already a TEDx speaker. It's very frustrating when you have all these accolades that
Right.
should match your bank account
Right.
and your bank account doesn't match. So everyone's like, oh
Right.
my God, you did a TED Talk. Oh my God, you're the CEO of Swimmy Caps. Can you buy 10 of them, please? Because I'm trying to push these things, you know?
Right. And I right. And believe it or not, it's a conversation that's had amongst a lot of young, not even young, but a lot of new entrepreneurs that are, establishing themselves within their industry, within the business, just within the social media world. And so it's challenging because it's a lot coming at you. And then there's a lot of other factors too recently, that we'll talk about that later, but it's just a lot. And so, I just didn't know. So Linda became, I don't even think people realize it, but Linda became my go-to. I mean, there are a few people that I do speak with about the frustrations, but Linda has been like the person that and we'll talk about that, once I began to implement these strategies and the information that shared with me. And then I made the decision, because I'm also seeing her work. I made the decision to invest. Then that's when it became very evident that that not only she knew what she was doing, but that she was the right person for me. You know.
Yes. And so what Yolanda, thank you, Yolanda, you're so sweet. What Yolanda said, she said a couple of really important things. She's like, "Oh my God, I just didn't know that I was worth that much. My husband was seeing something in me and I didn't like I can charge that much." Right? And so there were a lot of limitations. I don't care how awesome you are, you always need a coach to see your blind spots. And even your husband can't coach you. He's just loving you and protecting you and telling you,
Right.
I see so much in you, right? So you were very close to finishing your dissertation, right? And
Hmm.
then we had a conversation.
Hmm.
What was
We
that
had
conversation?
Right. So Linda and I, we talk quite often.
All the time. That's established. We talk.
We talk all the time. So, but this one particular time we were talking, it just happened to be, I'm down to the wire. I'm finishing up this dissertation. Graduation is in June, and everything. This could have maybe. I talk to Linda so often, so I don't really exactly know the exact date. But I do know that it had to be like February, maybe January, and she may have even mentioned it maybe last year as well in 2018. But I just didn't pay attention to her. We'll just say that. But we had a conversation. And we were just talking, just having, mindset talking, just strategy talking. Whenever we talk, it's always meaningful. It's always beneficial for both of us. It's not a one-sided conversation where I'm getting all the juices, and it's not a one-sided conversation for her where she's getting all my information, because I do have a lot of great ideas and stuff. And so we go off of each other, and we make, and it's great. It's a great relationship. And then sometimes, she has to get out the whip and be like, Yolanda, and so but we were on the phone. We were talking one particular day, and one particular evening, because a lot of times when Linda and I talk, it's usually at night once my kids are settled in the bed, and either my husband is probably likely at in the bed sleep. I would say working, but in the bed sleep. And so Linda and I are on the phone. She's in Texas. I'm in Florida, and we're chatting it up. And she mentioned to me, Yolanda, why don't you write a book? And I'm like, a book? In the middle of writing a dissertation, you want me to write a book? And
Yes.
so she was just like, yeah, I really think that when you graduate, maybe she saw in the future, maybe she saw something that I didn't see, but she was just like, I think you should be prepared. I think you should have something, ready to go. I think you need to have something new. It's been a while. We co-authored She Conquered like in 2016. It's been a few years. I think it's fresh. You should have something ready to go. And I was like, whatever. And I entertained the thought. I entertained it. Don't get me wrong. I entertained it, and I may have dismissed it the next day or two. But as I slowly began to think about it, I was like, you know what? I think Linda's right. I probably should put something together. And I remember mentioning it to my husband, who in his mind, again, he's like the protector. He wants me to be okay. And he's just like, I don't want you to overdo yourself. And I was like, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm gonna be all right. And I just went to work on writing a book. And what comes challenging to a lot of people when it relates to writing and publishing a book, just became it was just very easy for me to do, because I already knew in my mind what it was that I wanted to write about.
So you make it to your dissertation, and it's the great reveal that you also have a brand new book, and it's titled.
Now, my journey, your lessons.
And so she has a book ready. The news is there in her town, local town. She gets on the news. I don't know how many morning shows. I don't know how many evening news. Yahoo, Essence, everyone and their mama wants a piece of her at this point. And she has this book. And through this journey of this book, she realizes what she just said. It's not hard for me to write, and I like
Right.
writing.
Right.
And she says to me, Linda, I think I just birthed a new business.
All right.
So, which was what?
Which is and before, and listen, before I even said that to Linda, I had started getting like a couple of requests about this type of service. And it was something that I had never, ever, ever thought about doing because I just didn't think I had the time. And speaking of time, that's what it was to when I was telling you when we were talking, you was like, you should write a book. And I said, Linda, I don't have the time. I just don't have the time. That's what I said to her. I was putting everything off and I was just saying, like, I don't have the time to sit up and write another book. I have to do this, this, this. I'm getting ready for graduation. So that's what it was. I couldn't remember exactly, but now I remember it's because I kept telling you that I didn't have the time.
And
But
what
one
was
of
my
the things
gangster response? What was
I
my
don't
gangster
remember, she
response?
had so many gangster
I said,
responses.
if you don't write a book and you don't have nothing to launch, when you graduate, shame on you.
Yeah, basically, you made me feel bad. You made me feel bad, Linda. but but no. So and after I launched the book or whatever, and I think I had like a few. I had several requests come to me about this service. So when I contacted Linda again, I was like, "You won't believe what I think I'm gonna do." And she was like, "What?" And I said, "I think I'm gonna do ghostwriting. I think I'm gonna write for people." And I was saying it to her, although I still didn't believe that I could do it. But I was literally like saying, I think I'm gonna write a book. I think I'm gonna be a ghostwriter. I'm gonna offer my services to people that don't have the time to do it. And because if I can write mine in, 2 months, I could write somebody else's in 2 months and stuff. And that's kind of how that happened.
So then here's what happened. She shares with me, I think I'm gonna charge this much. And I immediately, I'm back in coach mode and I'm like, no, you will not be charging that much. And let me show you all these other people that are doing it and how much they're charging. What is wrong with you? And
you
so
know,
it was really cool to see it just be
it
part
was,
of the birthing process of this business. And also, go ahead, Yolanda, because we're
I
having
think
like a
what,
delay.
right. I think what one of the things that I think the reason why I priced it so low is because I honestly did not think that anyone would hire me for these services. And that's when you were just like, so how much are you going to charge? And I was like, well, I think I'm going to charge this amount. And you were just like, I don't think so. And then what she did for me was she went and researched and gave me actual information on what other, businesses or brands are charging for these type of services. And I realized then that I was pricing myself extremely low, and that and although I wanted to charge, and I still didn't charge at the price that she was suggesting and recommending, I continued to kind of go lowball myself. And I'm gonna just be very honest, I did, because I didn't think that anybody would pay. It was a mindset thing, if anything.
And so let me interrupt. For those of you that don't know, Dr. Yolanda Florida Perkins, in her early life, in her previous life, she made a mistake and it cost her some federal prison time. And I always tell Yolanda, it all started back then, right? And the reason she landed some prison time was because of something she did to impress a boy. And so the whole I'm not worthy or I'm not valuable enough began a long time ago.
Right.
And I would tell Yolanda, excuse me, Yolanda, you have doctor in front of your name now. Like, how much more how much more do you think you need to add to your name to be valuable? Like, you're doctor.
Right.
Like, I don't know what you want now. Like, there's no more.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
You're Dr. Yolanda. You are CEO of 3 companies. You are TEDx speaker. Like, I'm sorry, what? What else do
Right.
you need? Get with the program. And I'm not being mean. I'm letting you know that you're seeking all these letters after your name. You think you need more letters. You think you need more education. You think you need more. No, boo. You just need someone to
Don't.
guide you and remove those glasses from you so you can see and go get your money. So we're moving forward now. You're like, okay, and now people start to reach out to you for speaking, and you start to screenshot the emails, and you're like, Linda, what do I say to this? And I immediately start to decipher that email means they ain't got no money. Girl, please, that emails, people who got money, they write to you with what they working with. And so Yolanda guys, it's really important, right? Because we don't know what to say. We don't know how to pick apart behavior. We don't know how to pick apart linguistic. We don't know how to read between the lines, right? But I do. That's why
Right.
people pay me a lot of money, because that's what I went to school for,
Right.
right? So I was
Right.
like, Yolanda, this is what you're gonna say. And Yolanda said whatever she said, and then she was like, "Oh my God, her very first proposal. Please tell us about the first proposal that you still lowballed yourself because you did not charge what I told you to charge."
So, so what happened is, so once I graduated, and I again, I everything happened so fast when I graduated. All this press and media attention and highlights and write ups,
Yahoo,
and it
Yahoo.
was ABC, Good Morning America. A lot of it's crazy. A lot of these, um, you know, uh, companies and media outlets that I had initially been trying to reach out to years ago, they were just coming. They're still coming to this day. Like, it's crazy, and it's a great craziness to have. But it's also can be so overwhelming, and so people are coming, literally on all of my social media platforms. People are reaching out. I mean, I'm getting 200 to 300 requests daily. And I thought that it would, kind of slow up, but it's not. There are billions there are billions of people in this world. There's a lot of people in this world, and some people are just now hearing about me, and so the requests are coming. So one of the
Let me say something. Let me say something. And the requests are coming because I was like, Yolanda, get off of Facebook and let's go hit LinkedIn with a strategy.
so that's so yeah. So what has happened is, so on top. So what happened is, I took a. It was so much coming at me, and I don't know if a lot of people know, but I took like a social media break. I did. I took a break, but in the process of me taking a social media break, Linda and I still conversating over the phone and talking and whatever, and I'm telling her about all this stuff and just getting ideas from her. And so I decided to take a lot of my information and share and start posting on LinkedIn. So I just want to say I've been hearing about LinkedIn for a very long time. Never really did anything with LinkedIn, but decided to, um, you know, give it a
Hit it.
chance and give it a shot. And I'll say this: it may not have been my time then, but it is darn show my time now. And so I took all my information and started sharing on LinkedIn. What I didn't know was that there was someone that was already posting on LinkedIn that has a huge following, is influential on LinkedIn, had shared one of my articles. So there was already a following over there for me. I just didn't even know it. So during my social media break, I began to look into LinkedIn, and I began to, learn about LinkedIn. And thankfully I did. And once I started posting on LinkedIn, the game changed for me. And when I say the game changed, I mean as far as um, the type of uh, businesses and brands that were wanting me, that are wanting me to come speak. It changed. We're not talking about, we want you to come speak for $100 and $200. No, we're talking about proposals, and this was my introduction to learning about proposals. And so what happened was, a company or a spokesperson for a company reached out to me in LinkedIn, like the other 500, 600 requests. And when I finally got to her, I sent her an email and followed back, followed up or whatever. And doing all of this, I'm sharing this information with Linda because, I'm not sure. But what happened is I wasn't prepared for the conversation, because our conversation went from LinkedIn to an actual phone call. And so I remember this day very well. We were on the phone, and the representative of the company began to talk to me about a proposal. And she says, basically what we're going to do. So we had a conversation, her and I, and then she was summarizing the conversation, and everything was fine. And then she asked the final question, that elephant in the room question. What is your speaker fee?
Dun
Right. And
dun dun.
all although Linda and I had been over this multiple times, Linda had did everything she could to, instill within me my value, to remind me how valuable I am and what I should be charging and what I'm worth. And then at the same
And
time, my husband,
exactly what to say and how much to charge. Exactly what to say and how much.
right.
Okay, go ahead. Please go.
Right. And so when the opportunity came, my first conversation, we're talking. She's letting me know what she wants. That, oh, she's followed me on social media. Her team has followed me on social media. And this is one of the things why I share with people when this is probably one reason why I don't also agree to speak at any places, at a lot of places anymore, because I go and do a social media search. I need to know what it is and who it is that I'm associating my name with, because I think it's important. And why I'm sharing this is because we need to be very mindful. True, it's our own social media page. True, we can choose to post whatever we want to post. But I think it's very important that when you're trying to position yourself in the industry, or you're trying to situate yourself and you're wanting to demand this type of pay, I think it's important that you have to be mindful what you're posting. So this lady on the phone has already told me that her team has followed me, that her team has been following me. They have already looked at my TED Talk. They're following my posts. They're searching everything they can about me. So they were very eager to have me be a part of their 2020 lineup. And I was just like, oh, okay. And in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so glad I don't post crazy stuff, right? And so we got to so we had the conversation, and this is important, why I want everybody to know and why mindset is so important. And so we're talking, and she says, so the only thing I need to know, Dr. Perkins, is, what is your speaker fee so that I can include it in the proposal? And yes, we're taking care of the flight, the hotel, the lodging, and everything like that. You're good to go. We just need to know your speaker fee. So I was just like, in my mind, I had in my mind a certain amount, and I didn't say it because of fear, because of just nerves, and just a lot of other things. And it was not likely, it was my very first time having a conversation like that. And I said, oh, my speaker fee is, 2,500, right? I lowballed myself. And I'm just grateful that there are some really good people in this world, and that there are people that truly recognize value, that truly recognize the energy that I bring, that I can bring, and the knowledge, the skills, the tools, the resources that I have. And when I said what I said, she nearly hesitated. She hesitated over the phone because I think she even knew. She knew. And so she was just like, excuse me? And I said, yes, 2,500. And so she kind of paused again. And then she literally just asked me, she says, is this your first time having a conversation like this? And I said, yes, it is my first time. And um, what happened after that was, she says, I'm going to ask you again. And I said, okay. And she said, what is your speaker fee? And I said, my speaker fee is 2,500. She said, what is your speaker fee again? And I said, my speaker fee is 2,500. And so she asked me again, and I said, my speaker fee is 2,500. And then um, she said, okay. She says, I'm going to write everything up in a proposal and send it over. Right. Linda, I think I was so nervous because I had never had a conversation like that before. So I text Linda and said, oh my gosh, I need to talk to you. I need to talk to you. But I want you all to understand, even before this conversation about a proposal even happened, because I was already seeing Linda and her success, and I was looking at the things that she was accomplishing, I knew that I had to make an important decision. And that decision was, did I want to invest in Linda? Not because she's my friend and because I know her, but because can she take me to the next level where I truly deserve and where I want to go? Do I want to invest this amount of money in her? And I think that we can we can YouTube a lot of things, right? You can YouTube, you can Google. I encourage everyone to do that. I mean, I did it. I still do it, right? But there comes a time when you have to say, All right, Google. Okay, YouTube. It's been nice. It's been great. But now I really need to know the exact strategies that you did. And in order for me to get those strategies, if I have to invest, then I'm willing to invest. And so that's what happened. So I remember having a conversation with Linda after the conversation with the lady and I said, "Oh my God, I feel horrible. I cannot believe I did this. I cannot believe I said this." And my mind was saying one thing, but my mouth said another thing. And she was just like, "You cannot allow fear. You cannot allow. It's your mindset. It's your mindset. It's the lack of mindset that you think that you can't have this or that you don't deserve this. When did you research the company, Yolanda? Did you look to see who were previous speakers?" And I'm like, "Oh my God." And as she's talking, I'm looking and I'm like, "Oh my God, they just had Martha Stewart last year." Right. And so you and I both know Martha Stewart didn't go and speak with them for $2,500. Like, we know this. And
Okay.
so as I began to do a little bit more history and a little bit more search on them, on this company, I realized that they could have afforded to pay a lot more. And so the good thing about it is that she referred me to another chair uh, with another organization, company, not an organization, but with another huge big brand. And I was
Mm-hmm.
prepared this time for the conversation and the proposal and for the, for my speaker fee. And so that's how that happened.
Okay, so then another proposal came in for a 2020 speaking gig. And how much was that then?
So that speaking engagement. So again, I'm on LinkedIn, guys. LinkedIn is the bomb. And so I'm on LinkedIn, and I'm again, I am sharing my videos, just being me, and just realizing that while social media is nice, social media for Instagram is nice, Facebook is nice, but my audience, my target is not there. No one is don't they're not gonna they're people are reaching out for me to speak, but they're not paying me for what I really should be paid for, right? And so I realized that
Come
this
on
is
now,
where my
that's great.
audience is. And so that's where I'm at a lot, is on LinkedIn. And so again, I'm going through my requests because I get 100 to 200, maybe even more, 400. It's so many. So I get more. I'm getting all these requests daily, and there was another request, and I'm sending emails, and not every email is someone that's can wants to confirm a speaking engagement with me, and that's fine. It's fine. But I'm more equipped, well prepared, and ready to go. And when this speaking engagement came through, I was ready. There was no hesitation. My speaking fee is 5,000. Okay, Dr. Perkins, great. We'll write that up and we'll get it over to you. And
Bam.
so now here it is. And then another thing is, as I wanted them, because I didn't have a proposal written down on my end. And so I wanted to receive these proposals because now I can position myself to take some of this information and apply it to me. And when someone asks for me to send over my proposal, I can now have control of that, have it saved already on a document, and all I'm doing is changing the name and everything. As far as my hotel, flight arrangements, picking me up from the hotel, transfer, and all that, that's going to stay the same. My per diem for my food, that's going to stay the same, right? And I learned that it doesn't matter if I'm coming to speak for 20 minutes or 60 minutes. This is my price. If you want me, there you're looking for me,
Come
right?
on, Yolanda. Yes. That's what I was
And
like. It
so
doesn't matter, Yolanda, if you speak for 10 minutes or an hour. The price doesn't change.
right, right. Because I'm going to bring the value, I'm going to bring the juice. So the price is not going to change. They're going to get the same amount of energy and information, whether I speak 10 minutes, 20 minutes, or 60 minutes, or 2 hours. They're going to get the same. But these are
Exactly.
my prices. These are my prices, and it is what it is. And what I say about this speaking engagement, and the same thing happened for the next one, because now they're just coming in, and I first thing I do before I even commit to a proposal or anything is I'm researching the industry. I'm researching their history. I'm researching who are the speakers. I learned from Linda. Linda taught me, like, I learned to go and research, and then they can also, like, I learned, and so my conversations are more solid now. Yeah, my speaking fee is 10,000. This is my speaking fee. Okay, great, Dr. Perkins. We'll write that up, and we'll look forward to having you in 2020. Okay, great. So,
Awesome. I
listen,
love it.
I have a family, and I want to retire by like soon. So
Yes. Yes, and this is not part of this interview, but during this whole process, during the last 4 months, literally in the last 4 months, Yolanda's world has like just turned. It's been a hurricane of awesomeness in her world. Her husband just started his own business.
Yes, we'll talk about that on the side thing for
On
him.
another
But
thing.
no. But that's the thing with his business, right? With his business, it was inspired because I did it. So you know, it's hard to be around me and not be not just him,
And not
just
be
my
ignited,
kids.
not catch the flame, not
Right.
yeah.
It's hard. Like if you're around me and you don't get excited or even having, I'm not, listen, I've learned a long time ago, just I've just learned a long time ago, full-time entrepreneurship is not for everyone. I get it. I get it. Everyone doesn't have to go and have a full, be in entrepreneurship. It's not for everyone. I get it. But I definitely think that everyone should consider having some type of side hustle that pays really good with some great systems in place and put it on autopilot. And I just think that it's great because there's nothing wrong with having additional funds or creating an additional stream of income. I think it's very important. I think it's critical and crucial.
So let me tell you. So Yolanda, now when you're in the zone, you're just attracting money. You're like, I be getting to the money. Everybody
Yes.
mad. It's like ideas about money, 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 money. So she's like, girl, I think I'm gonna do a class. I'm gonna do a master class. I'm gonna tell people how I came from prison. And I was like, girl, go on ahead. And she launched that thing in 1 week. Tell me how much money you made from, how much did you sell it for?
So get this. So I launched this class for $5. I launched this class for $5. And
And it
then
didn't sell. It didn't sell at $5, or it did?
no, it did. It sold at $5 and it was selling. And then, but I said, if
Okay.
you don't purchase within a couple of days, this is what the price is going to go up to next. So the price went up to $19. People were buying for $19. And then the price went up from $19 to $29 and people were still buying. And so there was a total of 532 people that actually purchased my class. 523 people didn't attend, so they received the recorded version. If you didn't attend, you were sent a recorded version within 24 to 48 hours. But the fact of the matter is that I thought about it, and yeah, I said, oh my God, maybe I should put a class together. And the reason why, I want y'all to understand, the reason why I did this class is because of my inbox messages. People were asking how you did this. How did you
But
do this?
Yolanda, how
Or
much was it? How much money was it total in sales from the class? Just tell us.
from the class, I think it was like 3,900. 30, no. Oh, I'm on my phone. I was gonna tell you it's on my phone. It was definitely over 30. It was over 3,500.
Yes.
In a
And
class
so,
that I made with information that I already have, that I put together for people, that based off the questions that I was being asked repeatedly.
repeatedly. And so Yolanda knew these people cannot afford my coaching, because Yolanda also coaches people. She's a success coach,
Yes.
right? So she's like, they're not going to be able to afford my coaching. And I was like, please don't just let them sit there. We can monetize any audience, girl. What is wrong? So she did that. And for anybody who is, I wanted to say this, for anyone who is listening, who's like, well, you can speak for free. Yes, you can speak for free if you have a strategy. If you have the right audience, every audience is not your audience. So if you go speak for free to the wrong audience and you don't have an offer to sell from the stage,
Right.
and you don't have products to sell in the back of the room, you really didn't do anything. You just felt good about
Right.
speaking, right? So when you speak for free, you should be speaking to the correct audience, and then you
Right.
should have an offer to pitch from the stage, and perhaps some books or some bracelets or whatever it is, your red lipstick, whatever it is, right, in the back of the room. But Yolanda, this is what Yolanda is. She is a triple threat, quadruple threat. She's everything. But Yolanda is getting paid to keynote. It is important that I point that out. She's a keynote speaker. So keynoters are not, sometimes keynoters are not allowed to sell. They just come for the keynote and that's it. It's all part of the proposal and the contract and what we negotiate, right? So in
Right.
order for her to make her money and provide impact to her audience and fulfill the assignment that's on her life to change lives, if you're not going to allow me to sell from the stage, then you're going to pay me as a keynoter.
Right.
So I mean, I'm just really tired of people like, well, you can speak for free. Well, you go on ahead and speak for free, but when you want to make money, come over here to us, and we'll
And
teach
you
you
know
how.
what? And I posted something. Listen, I'm gonna be very honest. There's nothing wrong with speaking for free. Again, as like Linda said, or also if you're starting out, there's nothing wrong with that. Because listen, let me tell you, I have spoken for free for a very long time, for a lot of years, and it's just recently that I have started asking for paid, for to be paid for my services. And what I also understand is that I know again what I bring to the table. I know I can hold a mic, and it's not even just holding the mic. I know that the information that I have is very informative, is very resourceful, it's impactful, and there are exact strategies and tools that I use. But what you're not going to do is you're not going to get this information for free, right? And so, what I shared recently on a post on LinkedIn is that the difference between a paid speaker and an unpaid speaker is your mindset at the end of the day. It's your mindset. And, for a very long time, I just did not think that people would pay me a certain amount of money for my services. However, I now realize that it was the wrong group. It was the wrong platform for me. My platform is on LinkedIn. LinkedIn may not be the platform for you. I don't know. But it doesn't hurt to get on LinkedIn and try, right? It doesn't hurt to get on Instagram and try. Your audience may be there. I don't know. But for me, and what works best for me is LinkedIn. And over the last 2 to 3 weeks, LinkedIn, it has been a huge game changer in my business and brand.
I love it, Yolanda. I just saw a text message that you sent. I don't know when you sent that. That your battery was close to dying.
So
Is that
I'm
still the
doing
truth?
this. I don't even want to stop because I feel like we have so much more information to go. Like I don't want to stop. And I think people are asking, is anybody making questions? Like I don't know. But just make sure that no one has any questions while we're on
I
here so we
see
can make
that
sure we can
they're
address
making
the questions.
comments. They got comments. Hi, ladies. That's amazing. It's just a
Okay,
lot of
hey.
comments. No questions are coming in right now. But if you have a question, post it. Okay. Um.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
So
trying to
basically,
think
I was
what
going to
else.
ask you. um,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I mean, you've been very informative, right? It's been very candid. Um, we've covered major things. You've got to stop being friends with people that can't help you.
Right.
Then, when you see the value, even if it's your friend, pay your friend,
Right.
okay? Because you're not really investing in your friend, you're investing in yourself, and you're also honoring your friend.
Right. Right.
You're
I think another
honoring.
thing I think another thing also is that I get a lot of, I realize that, I'm gonna say this. I'm not what I do, it may it's I'm not saying it's perfect, right? But it works for me. And I know that I get a lot of messages. I'm getting a lot of messages. I have a flight scheduled for late this year to go do a show. Just a lot of stuff, a lot of dynamics are changing for my family. A lot of dynamics. My main goal is making sure that my family eats. Right.
Okay,
Making sure we
exactly.
eat. That's my main goal. But what I've learned is that I get a lot of people asking um about having lunch and having coffee and stuff like that. And I'm just very honest, I don't really drink coffee, right? So I would rather, if I'm gonna drink coffee, I'm telling you, we having a very expensive coffee date because I'm
Okay.
sending an invoice first. And I'm not saying this to be I don't want anyone to think, oh, she thinks she's all that. But yeah, I do. I kind of do think I'm all that because I do know what I bring to the table. I do know how valuable my information is. And I do know that I see things totally different. But what I'm saying is that if you're going to come to me with questions, what can you do for me? Right? How can you help me? How can we both win in this situation? How can we both win? And I'm telling you, one of the best things was investing in myself and my future and where I want to see my brand go. And I know that I couldn't do that alone, like by myself. Like I know I needed help and I needed someone that could do it that has done it already. And I needed to I needed those strategies. I needed those tools. And so I appreciate you, not just as a friend, but as a business coach and someone that has literally taken me by the hand and have led the way. And I appreciate you um, so much. I don't know.
And it's
I
all
don't want my
true.
I don't want my phone to die. I think if you can give me a moment, I don't want to be rude, but this is real life. I've been gone
Okay.
all day. And so I
Okay.
really need to put my phone on the charger so that I can continue the conversation. So
Go ahead.
excuse this pause for a second. I'm going to go get my charger, okay?
Okay. Um, so while she's pausing and she's getting her charger, right? It is not, I mean, we're not saying anything that you haven't heard before, right? People don't hire coaches because they want coaching. People hire coaches because they want results. And so when you want, I'm just going to go ahead and take the full screen until she gets back. When you want results, you hire a coach. When you want to get to your goal and you want to get there fast, you want to avoid, when you want to avoid the, you want to avoid failure. You want to avoid all the pitfalls. You want to avoid trying things that don't work. Then you hire a coach that has already done what you're wanting to do, and can take you there. But check this out. The mindset, everyone that comes to me thinks literally, I'm gonna hire Linda because I'm gonna level up my relationships. I'm gonna hire Linda because I'm gonna land a TED talk. I'm gonna hire Linda because I'm gonna make more money. You're actually going to hire Linda because your mindset needs to get right.
Right. Right.
And I'm going to show you about you. I'm going to hold the mirror up and I'm going to let you know. There's a question that says, what topic do you speak about? And you can answer that in a second. Um, and so, yes, it's important that you invest in yourself to learn the strategies to get the result that you want. For example,
Right.
coming up in 2020, I've never held an event. I'm talking about an event, a 2-day event, a 3-day event where people are flying in and I have a contract with the hotel. I have never done that. I've done workshops. So now I'm going to invest in someone that can teach me how to hold events.
Right.
Well, I'm going to invest in myself, right? To learn that and then put a team
Right.
around whatever I need to do because I'm not an event coordinator. So you must hire whatever you want to learn so you can get a result. If you don't learn anything else, learn that when you want a result, that's what you go get. I mean, in everything.
Right.
When you want your car fixed, you go to the mechanic. When you want plastic surgery, you go to the plastic surgery. You go pay for a result.
That's
So
true.
I'm excited. All right, Yolanda, somebody's saying, what topic do you speak about?
So my signature talk, obviously, I've been incarcerated. And so for me, reentry, criminal justice reform, but more so how to overcome that adversity is one of my main topics. And I do have a signature topic, and that's what I talked about during my TED talk, is to stop, drop, and roll and how to overcome adversity. But I focus my talks on what the event is, the type of event. Several events that I'm slated to do for 2020 as a keynote, all have to do with how can organizations and companies and hiring managers, look at their current structure and how returning citizens that have been impacted by the criminal justice system can fit into their model. So a lot of the organization companies that I've been hired to do is mainly those talks, but then there's some that I'm in the works for 2020 that are also about, coming to speak at these youth events, youth organizations at schools. And so they're all, at the end of the day, it's all structured around the mindset. And again, it's already with a lot of these, companies already have their title and their 2020 slogan ready to go. So I go off of that. One of the things, and that's great that you asked about that, is what I talk about, because I think it's great that everyone prepares a pitch, and everyone prepares a signature talk. And what I mean by that is, I think that it's always best to be prepared than not. There has been tons of requests for me to send over a speaking video because people want to see how you speak. They want to see how you talk. And I also think that it's important that you understand what a pitch is. And I'm not going to go into a great amount about pitching, but what I do is I get a lot of requests and they give me a whole book about who they are. And all I want to know is, I just need 2 sentences, 3 to max, to tell me who you are, what you do, what it is that you want me to do, and how are you, what is your mission impacting, or how is your mission, like who, what, how, and what problem you solving, or and how do I come into play. Or when I'm speaking to someone and they're introducing me, I don't want to know about all this stuff. I just need to know a one liner or give me a two liner. And I think it's important. So when someone asks me, like, Yolanda, what do you do? Well, I like to call myself the motivational hope influencer. I like to consider myself as an influencer, someone that gives hope, right? So I have a one liner sentence. And I think it's important that we prepare ourselves. And I do that by just, having, getting in the mirror and just talking about what it is that I do, how I solve it, and what it is that I hope that my services will bring or solve for your organization. I get pitched to a lot. I've been getting pitched every day. And some of the pitches that I'm getting for my services or for me to come speak, I'm just like, I don't even know what they want me to do. You want me to speak? I don't know. So I want people to understand that you should definitely be very, very clear about what it is if you're approaching someone or if you want someone to approach you. Um, I just think I just think you need to be very clear, and you should have some type of signature talk in mind. And that was one of the things that a lot of people don't understand about a TED talk. And I don't want to go back to that, but I want to make sure I highlight a main reason why a lot of people don't get selected for their TED talk is because they're addressing the TED talk in one language and they're not addressing the topic or the theme of the TED talk. Every TED talk location already has their theme for the year. They already have their theme. If their theme is, reinventing science, and you're over here talking about,
Motivation when you were a baby.
right, it has nothing to do with it. And so you're going to find yourself every time being turned away. They may not even notify you that you haven't been selected. You'll just know you haven't been selected by the time come around. You're not on the stage speaking. And so, and that's why it's important that you understand, you do your research, or why you should hire a coach to help you recognize those points or those pain points to help you get over that. And so, that's why it's important that, your signature talk may not be for this particular location. It may be for the next one. How much time do you spend practicing your speech before the speech? I'm always practicing my speech. Every day I practice my speech. Every single time I practice my speech, because I always want to be prepared. You want to always be over prepared than to be under prepared. You always want to be prepared. Always. Always.
And so I want to add this, Yolanda, two things. Um, every single one of us, we practice in the car, we practice in the mirror. We practiced, I recorded my TED talk and then I played it while I was brushing my teeth and getting ready every day. And then I said my TED talk in the car as I was driving. I also practiced pitching my $25,000 offer in the car when I'm driving. I practiced many scenarios where it's just gonna roll off my tongue just naturally.
Right.
And so I practice in front of the mirror. I practice my facial expressions. I practice. And so when you hire a coach, you will then learn to have a 15-minute version of your signature talk, a 30-minute version, and a 45 to an hour version,
Right.
45 minute to an hour version. And so when you get you a good coach, they'll make sure that your signature talk is something that you can hit, because there are points to talks, right? You have to hit certain points, and you can't go off on a tangent. So a good coach is going
Right.
to let you practice a 15-minute version of your signature talk, a 30-minute version, and a 45-minute to an hour.
Right.
Let me see.
Right.
Has
Right.
there ever been, somebody's asking, has there ever been a time where you forgot a part of your speech, and what did you do?
No. No.
Nah, that
You know,
happens when you ain't ready.
right? No, that's a really good question. And I think Linda and I will have to mark this, and we'll have to come back to this because something happened recently, and we'll talk about this at some point, but just not today. And that was one of the concerns that I had, was if something
Yes.
occurred during the time that
If
I
yeah,
was
we're
giving
not
my
going to talk
speech.
about it right now. Yes, what if it comes
Yeah.
up while I'm on stage? But I'll tell you this: when I was doing my TED talk, the guy was in the back of the room shining the light like this, which meant you have like a minute or two left. I totally forgot how many minutes I had left. They told me, I think it was 2 minutes, but when I was up there, I was so in the zone that when I saw the light, I freaked out because I forgot. Oh my God, was it 2 minutes or was it 1 minute? Oh my God, I'm gonna go over, because you can't go over 18 minutes. And no one, when you watch my TED talk, everyone says, well, I couldn't tell that you hurried up and
Right.
finished it. But I hurried up and I gave a totally different ending to my talk than the one I had, because when I saw the light, it tripped me up. I was like, I was in the
You
zone.
saw the light.
I was like, they're telling me to come on, Linda. And so I didn't. That's a good question. I didn't forget my line, but I thought I was running out of time, so I gave a completely different ending. But it still landed because I was ready.
You
Anyway,
know, I'll say this. I've never forgotten my topic or my speech, but in my early days of I never wanted to be a speaker. It just kind of happened.
mhm.
But in my earlier speaking experience, there were times where I was long-winded and was just talking about everything. And so I think that what helps, and this is what I share with people, I'm going to give this little tip so that you don't forget. I think it's important, and this is one of the things that I talk about if I'm coaching, and it's um I also highlighted in one of my downloadable PDFs for how to land a TEDx talk with no experience. One of the most important things, whether you're any talk, book writing, anything, one of the main things you always want to do is you want to create an outline. Your outline is your guide, and your outline will help you stay on track. And then that outline is like just a one page paper that you will
You have your
highlight
bullet points
everything.
of what you're going to say at each thing.
Basically, yes. And I think that, if you can memorize your bullet point, then your talking points from your bullet point should be fine. You should be able
Flow.
to stay on task. And it is important for someone that's starting out to do that. One of the things
Right.
that I was asked,
And I'm saying, when you're starting out, just because you're starting out doesn't mean that you're not prepared. You can't just wing a talk. You should be ready.
right,
Even if it's your very
right,
first talk, you should be ready. Because
right.
everybody starts. Everyone is a beginner. Everyone starts with their very first time that they held a microphone. Everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
One of the I did a coaching call with a young lady about a week ago, about 2 weeks ago, and she is a fashion stylist, a design stylist. And so she was coming, she approached me and wanted to know, like, how could she get more, notoriety. Like, she wants to be highlighted and all of this stuff, and she wants to be in media, and she wants to get more clients and stuff. And so I went on her page and I saw her posting stuff and telling people to buy, 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 buy. And I was just like, I don't like to be sold to. Like, Linda is a great marketer and a great salesperson. Just naturally, she's just great, but that's not me. So if I walked into the car dealership, like, there's nothing that they can say to me that will make me buy the car, because I already know what I want, right? And so my approach with her, and we're actually doing this now, but my approach to her was, first, stop just posting and telling people to buy this outfit for $10 or $25. Stop. Start showing people what this outfit looks like on people. Let me see you wear the outfit. And then why don't you highlight some of your back end stuff to show people what you do? And not just come up on there, but then you can't just be highlighting your brand and then be doing other crazy stuff on your social media page. Like, if you want to be taken serious as a brand and you want people to buy from you, then you need to show yourself that way. And then the other thing I was telling her is, stop just pushing this stuff in front of your family and friends. There are billions of people that live in this world. You can ship worldwide, nationwide, all over. And I think that and another thing that I was explaining to her, I said, start, YouTube and your stuff, start promoting yourself and start showing, you in your outfit on where you're going. Start showing, highlight yourself, write a book, separate yourself from other brands that are calling themselves fashion stylists. Highlight yourself in a guide, a how-to styling guide. And so that's what she's working on, is a styling guide on how to style yourself. Because if you're anything like me, I will hire a stylist to style me, because I'm not into all of that, right? And so I just think it's important that, also to add that, um even if you know, not necessarily a speaker, you can still highlight and outline points and write, you know, bullet points on how, you know, you can use your industry or within your industry to promote your brand without being so salesy, I guess, if that's the word, if
And
it
I'll
makes
add
sense.
this. Thank you. I'll add this, and then we'll end because we're right on the hour right now.
Okay.
Even when you go live, okay. If you can practice going live, whether you want Periscope or YouTube Live or Instagram Live or Facebook Live, and you can practice showing up. You can practice your presence. You can practice pausing. You can practice what you look like. You can practice your delivery. When are you going to make a pause? When are you going to make
Right.
people laugh? You can do that for free.
Right.
There's a lot
Right.
of ways to get ready. There's a lot of ways to not be the first time that you spoke. But I get that question. Yolanda, thank you so much for taking the time tonight to be with me and talk to the audience. Where can people find you on the internet?
Yeah, so my website is yolandaperkins.com, but you can also follow me on social media. My social media and Instagram is Yolanda Flornow Perkins. LinkedIn is Dr. Yolanda Flornow Perkins, and Facebook Yolanda Flornow Perkins. And then my swim cap brand is my swim cap brand is Swimming Caps, and you can follow me at Swimming Caps there as well.
Thank you so much for being and sharing with us authentically tonight, you guys. And if you
Yes.
want to catch up with me and you want to see if you and I are going to be a good fit, then you can go to bit.ly/speak with Linda, and we'll see if we're going to have a love connection. Yolanda, thank you so much, darling. I
You're
really
welcome.
appreciate you. And everyone, thank you so much for being with us tonight. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.